Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Miss Danielson, and today we're doing an introduction lesson to algebra. So we'll be keeping it simple today as we simplify expressions. First, let's have a look at our objectives for this lesson. First, we'll go over some basic algebra terminology. We'll learn the difference between solving an equation and simplifying an expression. And we'll learn how to group like terms and expand brackets. Let's start by clearing up our terminology. Algebra, for example, is a word that I know some people are scared of, and there's no need to be afraid. It's just the use of letters or symbols to represent values that we don't know the value of. Variables are these letters or symbols that we use in algebra, and they could have any value. In fact, we call them variables because the values of these variables vary from one situation to another. Often we use the letter X as a placeholder for an unknown value. So X in one question might have a completely different value from X in another question. It depends on the situation. Constants are the numbers. These numbers are called constants because the values never change. 3 could never have a value of 2, for example. Equations are just basically sets of calculations, but they are set equal to something. The word equation comes from the equal sign that you'll see in them. Expressions do not have equal signs. They are simply a set of calculations with no given solution. So are the following expressions or equations? Also, label the variables. My expressions are the ones without the equal signs. My equations are the ones with equal signs. And my variables are the letters or symbols that represent a number that I don't know the value of. Another big difference between expressions and equations is that equations can be solved. I can work out what the value of x is because I know that 7 plus x needs to add up to 12. I cannot work out what the value of y or the value of b are because I'm not told what the total should be. Equations can be solved, whereas expressions can only be simplified. Today we're going to look at simplifying expressions. So for example, I could give you an expression in words which have then translated into an algebraic expression. If I have an apple, 2 apples, a banana, 3 apples, and another 6 bananas, what have I got? Here's my apple, my 2 apples, my banana, 3 apples, and another 6 bananas. That's an expression. To simplify this, it would be a lot easier if I just told you how many apples and how many bananas I had. I'd have 6 apples and 7 bananas. But showing that algebraically is what we like to call grouping like terms. I'll group my A's together and I'll group my B's together. My A's, I've got 1A, 2A, and over here I've got 3A. So that's my A's together. And then my B's together, I've got 1B plus 6B. That's my B's together. And simplifying this, I can group those A's together to find out how many A's I have in total by adding the numbers in front of my variables. So adding, we call these the coefficients. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6A. And 1 plus 6 is 7B. 6 apples, 7 bananas. Simple as that. We just simplified this expression by grouping like terms. You're going to want to write that down. Now let's take a closer look at each of these terms. The terms that we've just seen consist of a constant and a variable. The constant is the number that's in front of the variable, and it tells us how many of that variable we have. That means that 2A is the same thing as 2 times A, and 3A is the same thing as 3 times A. So to multiply a number by a variable, you can simply write the number in front of the variable. 1A, however, is the same thing as 1 times A, and 1 times any value or variable would just be the variable itself. So to simplify an expression, I would never put the 1 in front of the variable if there's just one of them. I would just write the variable itself. Just as a value in front of a variable means to multiply, So does a value or variable directly in front of a set of brackets. So for example, 4 times the bracket 7 plus 2 is the same thing as 4 directly in front of the bracket 7 plus 2. By BEDMAS order of operations, you should already know that in any calculation where you see brackets, you need to work out the answer inside the brackets first. So this would be 4 brackets 9. That's 4 times 9, which is 36. Now, hopefully that was simple, but if the calculation inside the brackets cannot be done first due to unlike terms, we need to be sure that whatever is happening to the brackets is happening to all of the terms within the bracket. So for example, 4 times a plus b. I can't add a and b together, even though it's inside the bracket and I know that's what I need to do first. A and b are not like terms, so they cannot be grouped together. So what I need to do is to make sure that that 4 gets multiplied by both the a and the b. And in order to do that, we follow the rainbow. That is, we draw a loop to show that the 4 is multiplying by the a, and we draw another loop to show that the 4 is also multiplying by the second term. 4 is timesing by the b. 4 times a is 4a, and 4 times b is 4b. Try these ones for yourself. Follow the rainbow. Go ahead and make sure that the number in front of the bracket is multiplying by all of the terms inside the brackets. For example 1, I would do 5 times a and 5 times 2b. That's 5a plus 10b. For the second example, there are 3 terms inside the brackets. Make sure we times 4 by each of them. So I do 4 times 5c is 20c. 4 times negative 3d, negative 12d. And 4 times 6e, 24e. And don't forget to add the 7d at the end. Always check that your answer is complete, and I can see that this one is not. Don't forget to group your like terms whenever possible. I don't see any other c terms or any other e terms, but I do see 2 d terms, negative 12d plus 7d. Together that would make negative 5d. So I've got 20c minus 5d plus 24e. Try to list our terms alphabetically. C, D, E. Next example, I've got 2 sets of brackets, and watch out for these signs. They are being multiplied in both cases by negative numbers. Negative 6 times g will be negative 6g. Negative 6 times 3h will be negative 18h. Negative 2 times 4f will be negative 8f. And negative 2 times negative 5g will be positive 10g. Again, double check that your answer is complete. Can we simplify that? Can we group like terms? I see 2 f terms, that's 5f minus 8f, which would make negative 3f. And I see 2 g terms, negative 6g plus 10g, that would make positive 4g. Going alphabetically, that would be negative 3f plus 4g minus 18h. F, G, H. Let's make sure we're ready before we move on to our practice exercise now. Our objectives were to know the basic algebra terminology, know the difference between solving equations and simplifying expressions, be able to group like terms, and be able to expand brackets. In order to be successful with this practice exercise, you need to be able to simplify algebraic expressions by grouping like terms, and simplify algebraic expressions involving brackets by expanding and simplifying. Go ahead and get started with this practice now. Hit pause, copy the questions, take special care with your positive and negative signs, and make sure that your answers are fully simplified so you've grouped all your like terms at the end. Go ahead and work those out and push play when you're ready to see the answers. I hope you've had a chance to hit pause because here come your answers. For questions 1, question 2, first I expanded, then I grouped like terms. For question 3, first I expanded, then I grouped like terms. For question 4, first I put them in order to make it easier for myself, then I grouped like terms. Question 5, question 6, Question 7. First I expanded, then I grouped like terms. Question 8. Question 9. Question 10. First I simplified what was in the bracket as much as possible, then I expanded. If you expanded first and then simplified, you should still get the same answer. Question 11. Expanded and simplified. And question 12. I hope you found this lesson helpful, and if you have any doubts, please leave me a comment down below. Otherwise, keep practicing and I'll see you soon.